President's GOP allies, they work for you or him? Let's take Senator Lindsey Graham, head of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He says, nothing wrong with the president messing with the DOJ sentence recommendation.
They're on a crusade to destroy this man, and they don't care what they destroy in the process of trying to destroy Donald Trump. I do care. So to my Democratic colleagues, you can say what you want about me, but I'm covering up nothing. I'm exposing.
Messing with the DOJ sentence recommendation as he luxuriates in his Team Trump attire on state TV. And he wasn't the only one. Congressman Mark Meadows, now the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee, also proudly shrouded in MAGA merchandise. Country over party, they say. They work for you or him?
It was like candy. I understand that the FBI does not make the final call on immunity agreements. That was the DOJ. You made that clear. So his statement was just wrong.
Let's take Senator Lindsey Graham, head of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He says,
what do you hope the president-elect will do and say in his speech?
Well, number one, make a speech that acknowledges that he's the president of all of us, and those who are out there protesting, he's their president too.
But can we really believe where their loyalties lie when the answer may be in plain sight? By the way, were those jackets made in America? We're going to find out.
Listen, I gotta tell you this, though. There will be a Democratic president in the White House one day.
Bullshit.
One day. And there will be no room for criticism from Republicans if he or she, whomever that president is, decides to color outside the lines or go outside of the lines of what once was considered a norm.
But because we have to finally bring undocumented immigrants out of the shadows, I will make it a top priority in my first year as president. As a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. That's why I'm committed to passing comprehensive immigration reform as President of the United States. To shape a system that reflects our values as a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. Now we need to come together around reform that reflects our values as a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. Not while I'm speaking. And the answer to your question, sir, and the next time I prefer you let me finish my statements before you ask that question, is this is the right thing to do for the American people.
Decides to color outside the lines or go outside of the lines of what once was considered a norm for a president. And I think Democrats will probably sit back and say, I told you so, but maybe they'll do the right thing. But who knows? I think they have set not a very dangerous precedent when it comes to what happened in the impeachment hearings, but I think they set dangerous precedents already that the president is wielding all the power that he wants and that there are no guardrails.
We are and always will be a nation of immigrants.
President Obama is sidestepping Congress and using his executive power to make changes to the nation's immigration system. On Thursday night, the president announced a plan to shield as many as 5 million undocumented immigrants from deportation.
So the next president who comes into office will just say, when it is a Democratic one, and there will be one, will say, I can do whatever I want, and Republicans are going to have to sit by, and they're going to have to take it.
And to those members of Congress who question my authority,
will say, I can do whatever I want, and Republicans are going to have to sit by, and they're going to have to take it.
We learned today President Obama is about to pick a major fight, though widely predicted, over what is already a hotly debated issue. Tomorrow night, before a primetime audience, the president will reveal the executive action he will take on immigration reform.
And to those members of Congress who question my authority, we should be strong enough to acknowledge, as painful as it may be, that we haven't always lived up to our own ideals. We haven't always lived up to these documents. I think I've made myself clear, setting aside whatever the candidates are saying, that America is a nation of immigrants.
President Obama's executive order on amnesty for illegal immigrants was set to take effect tomorrow, but a federal judge has stalled the White House's plan. And earlier today, well, the president responded.
I disagree with the Texas ruling, and the Justice Department will appeal. This is not the first time where a lower court judge has blocked something or attempted to block something that ultimately was shown to be lawful.
I agree. I think that we are seeing that he is fully empowered by the pass in the impeachment trial. And here's the irony. He attacks the free press, but you know what? Democrats try that BS and they try to become what they say they oppose, and they're going to get the pain train just like the Republicans do right now. Nobody is above what this Constitution is supposed to protect. Not on our watch. Political payback, let them deal with that in their own ways. They cannot do it to compromise this country, either party.
Well, we shall see when that happens. If you and I are sitting here, maybe we'll be old and gray, but we'll see. I'm telling you.
Nobody knows.
I've been around a long time. It always comes out in the rinse. And trust me, one day, and we'll be sitting here and I'll say, remember when I said this, Chris?
Got to police it, though, and that's the problem, is that it'll be harder to police the next time because they'll say, well, it was okay when he did it.
Yeah.
In 2013, when President Obama decided to rewrite the immigration laws, he could never have imagined where it would bring him. After Congress refused to change the laws in a manner to his liking, he wrote some executive orders, basically signing a piece of paper saying, here's how I'm going to enforce the law, even though that's not what the law was. The result of that enforcement would have added over 500,000 people to the welfare rolls of the state of Texas alone. So Texas challenged his executive orders, as did Arizona and New Mexico, and about 13 states in the southwest portion of the United States. And a very courageous federal judge said to the President of the United States, you know what, you can't rewrite the law. He signed an injunction, an order preventing the President from enforcing these executive orders. The President's lawyers appealed it to the second highest court in the land, the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. And earlier this week, the Fifth Circuit upheld the trial judge and kept that order in place. Do you know how rare it is for federal judges to stop the President of the United States from doing what he wants to do? You could count it on one hand and not use all of your fingers. The President has one shot left to the Supreme Court of the United States. Prediction? He will not succeed there. He will be stopped in his tracks, and the case will not be resolved until he's no longer the president. And the rule of law, for once, will be upheld.